According to ValorantTracker.gg, VIPER has a win rate of 42.7%. This is the highest recorded win rate on Valorant Tracker out of all of the controllers. Now, you may be thinking 42.7% is pretty low, but according to Valorant Tracker, every agent in the game pretty much has a negative win rate, Reyna being the highest at 47.1%. With that being said, given that VIPER is the highest winning controller in Valorant, she definitely isn't the easiest to use. So that is why today we are going to be seeing if VIPER is good or bad, and we're also going to show you how to use VIPER properly at a pro level. For starters, VIPER has the ability to completely shut down a bomb site or make taking a bomb site with your team incredibly easy. This is mainly because of VIPER's toxin abilities, her toxic screen, and her toxic orb. With these two abilities, you're able to temporarily lower the health and shields of your enemies, giving your enemies the effect of being decayed. And the cool thing about these two abilities is that they don't do any damage to your teammates, which makes coordinating plays with your team much easier, especially in a ranked environment. Now, since these two abilities are based off toxins, you only have about 100 toxins in order to distribute between these two abilities. With VIPER's toxic screen, the longest you can keep your wall up for is about 20 seconds. Your toxic screen is going to burn 5 toxins per second, so just keep that in mind when you have your wall up. This is pretty much the same case with VIPER's toxic orb, but instead of using this ability to only block off sightlines, you can also use it to do some serious damage while combining this ability with your molly, which we'll get on to later on in the video. Whenever an enemy walks through your toxins, 30 HP is immediately taken from them temporarily, causing the decay effect. Because of this decay effect, if you're ever playing VIPER on defense, ideally it's not really smart to play for retakes unless the enemy team has a KO to disable your abilities. And this is because if you don't take advantage of the decay effect that you will be doing onto the enemy team, especially if they just try to force a push right through your VIPER utility, you're going to throw an easy round away because those enemies are all going to be 120 HP, making them only 3 shots to the body and of course 1 shot to the face to be killed. This pretty much means if you have a Phantom or Vandal, your enemies are pretty much 1 shot if you shoot them in the face. So as a VIPER, I would definitely recommend going to the bomb site that the attacking team is attacking the most and have maybe 1 or 2 teammates there just to help you out fight off the enemy team. For those of you who don't have complete confidence of your aim or mechanics yet, no problemo, because you can just use VIPER's snakebite ability, which is essentially a molly, in order to kill the damaged enemies or damage them even further, truly making them 1 shot to the body. Utility over aim and mechanics every day, guys. Remember that. Especially playing with VIPER, if you stick to the rule of utility being over mechanic and aim skills, then you're going to find yourself dying a lot less, being a lot more impactful to your team. You must apply this concept whenever you're using VIPER's ult, which is her snake pit ability. The VIPER's pit is a huge pit of toxin that covers a large portion of a bomb site or any particular area on a map. Whenever you're using the VIPER's ultimate ability, it's incredibly important that you apply the rule of using your utility over your gun. Because if you die while being VIPER ulted, then guess what? Your ult goes bye-bye. So whenever you're playing in VIPER's pit, just make sure you are always playing for your life. Use your utility first and then use your gun as a very last resort. And in order to properly do this without losing your life, you're going to have to take your positioning into consideration. So just be aware of where you're positioning yourself. Just make sure you're not going to get sprayed or spammed with utility, because it'll suck knowing that you died because of your positioning. So as a VIPER main, once you've mastered her abilities, the next thing you should know to understand VIPER at a pro level is what maps she's good at and what maps she's absolutely terrible at. Not only in pro player, but also in ranked, you're going to see VIPER commonly played on Icebox, Fracture, Breeze, Bind, Pearl, and Split. The 2 maps to where you will rarely ever see VIPER being played on a pro level and pretty much at a rank level is Haven and Ascent. This is mainly due because of the layouts of the maps not really being compatible with VIPER's abilities. There are 3 other controllers, and honestly on Haven and Ascent, those 3 other controllers are a lot better to be used on those maps. Now, shifting our focus over to the maps that VIPER is actually good on, which is again Icebox, Fracture, Breeze, Bind, Pearl, and Split. The layouts of these maps are perfect for VIPER's utility, and here's why. Starting with Breeze, there are incredibly long sightlines and huge angles that you have to cover that only VIPER's toxic screen can cover. So this is why Breeze and VIPER are a match. And for the other maps that VIPER's good on, the reason why she's so good on those maps is because these are all maps that VIPER can easily and safely cover or visually block off angles. Since you have to literally throw your VIPER orb, and because you can't pick up your wall, you're going to want to use VIPER on maps to where you can really just force into a bomb site. And on the maps that we've listed so far, these are all maps to where you can technically force yourself into a bomb site. The problem with Haven and Ascent is that those two maps are essential when it comes to taking mid control. And I don't know about you, but taking mid control and Ascent with Viper is pretty difficult. In Optic's game against NRG, the first thing you'll notice about this round in order to secure the win on Icebox is that Optic is outnumbered 2-4 in a post-plant situation, and on paper, they should have lost this round. Now, we're going to see this 2v4 play out as the enemy Sova is on Nest, and 3 of the attackers are pushing into A main right now. As this clip is playing out, I want you guys to pay attention to the positioning of Marv. Marv is a controller main on Optic, and is one of the best rats in NA. As we see the attackers advancing, putting more and more pressure onto KO, Marv is using this opportunity to clear out the rest of his Viper pit. He understands that KO is pretty much dead, but KO is just there to kind of kill time. Remember, the goal is to deny the defuse from NRG. KO does an amazing job at killing time for Marv, and he's able to get the kill onto the Jet. He's able to do some damage onto the Reyna. Now, given that these players have literally been in Viper's pit for quite some time, Marv understands that all of these players are lit. So he takes this opportunity to wait until they actually tap on the bomb, then finds a perfect timing to walk into his ultimate ability, allowing him to go in unnoticed. When you're in your Viper's pit, you can only see so far ahead of you because it's basically a smoky mist of clouds. Luckily, Marv is able to see the gun barrel of Chamber, allowing him to get the kill onto Chamber, then spray transferring over to Silva since, again, he is literally one tap because they've all been in the Viper orb. Viper's pit, I meant. And since Reyna is the one on the defuse, Marv saves him for last, understanding that the main threats are going to be Chamber and Silva. And once he's able to take them out, he's going to go flick over to the Reyna, denying the defuse, killing her because everyone who is in her Viper's pit currently is 1 health because they've been there for at least 15 seconds. So the main lesson to take away from this VOD view, guys, is when you're Viper ulted, make sure you guys are playing safe, playing for your life, and essentially you should be the last one alive, the very last one. So don't throw your life away and just make sure you're playing safe. If you did find this video to be helpful, don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn post notifications on so that way you guys are notified for more improvement videos like this. ProSense will soon be the #1 training platform to develop immortal players, and with your guys' help, we will do just that. Our coaching is coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. I love you guys. This has been your boy Sando301. Peace out.